Hey everyone, welcome to Reading Tarot. This new moon reading is going to be for fire signs. So that's going to be for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This new moon is in Aries. Mercury went retrograde in Aries, and Sun is in Aries. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a very interesting reading for fire signs, especially Aries. Aries is a cardinal sign, so changes that come along here are, they're not always, they can be rare, but they are generally major and permanent changes here. With the ending of this retrograde and this new moon in Aries, we got the beginning of, new cycles. Old cycles are closing and new ones are beginning. So with that said, let's get to the reading. And this is I'm actually super impressed because this is the first time I've done a reading for fire signs, and the cards weren't flying out of my deck like crazy. So what's going on here with this spread here is this is a spread I like to use. We've got what we describe here in this spread. We've got the three cards on the perimeter here that describes the energy around us, and then we've got the three cards here that describes the activity in the physical, and then the card at the bottom of the deck that kind of gives us the overlying theme for what's happening here. So with that said, let me get started with this Four of Pentacles here. I should also say that with this reading, I will be pulling a card for every sign once I finish getting through the general message. And I would also like to, as I mentioned in the other videos, I'd just like to let you guys know that I haven't formally listed readings like this as personal reading options, but they are options. You can always book a reading with me, and you can see how shifts in energy affect you specifically. Things like retrogrades, full moons, new moons, eclipses, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so with that said, let's get into the message here. So we've got the Four of Pentacles here, and this is the energy that's kind of leaving. This is the energy that's transitioning out of our space as retrograde comes to a close and as we go into the new moon in Aries. I like this energy as departing energy because Four of Pentacles kind of comes up as, really closed off, kind of miserly, withdrawn. Also very, very, very disciplined and very committed to routine and habit, but again, he's still very withdrawn, very closed-minded, closed off, and it's a promising. I think it's this energy leaving is kind of promising if you know how to use it correctly. If you use this time, being closed off from other things, having a closed mind, being not considering other options. If you use this retrograde period correctly, you with this Four of Pentacles energy, then you've been able to reflect on how things, you've been able to get a very deep look at your own approach and at what's working for you and what's not working for you, because the focus is so turned inward, and the focus is so so much on not exposing yourself, on not being vulnerable, not being willing to accept change, that kind of thing. So that's why I say it's promising energy. Otherwise, the Four of Pentacles is sometimes it's a good card to show up, sometimes, but mostly it's kind of not. So we're moving from this Four of Pentacles energy into the Hierophant reversed. And I like this Hierophant reversed energy because it's like The message that comes through is like shedding traditional leadership roles. That's something that just popped up here. So it's kind of like straying from the beaten path to forge your own. Some of you are leaving, excuse me, some of you are leaving jobs or relationships or other situations that aren't really fulfilling you to focus on making a way for yourself. And that's really coming up here in this Eight of Pentacles energy, because it you know, it guides your transition from the Four of Pentacles to the Hierophant reversed. You know, this has really been this Eight of Pentacles energy is kind of like a very diligent and self-centered, but in a healthy way, self-centered approach. You know, focusing on manifesting the outcome you would like to see. So I've really been seeing nothing but promising stuff for the Aries new moon for you guys, for everyone so far. And this is more of that promising energy. So with that, let me move on into what's happening in the physical. We've got the Three of Pentacles reversed. And the Three of Pentacles is usually about, you know, harmonious collaboration, stable collaboration, you know, successful workplace relationships. Also other relationships where like the roles and the where everybody's role and capability is defined, where everybody's acting within, you know, where people are doing things that they have the range to do, that kind of experience. So in this reversed position, I'm feeling like there have been a lot of unfulfilling relationships, or relationships that haven't met your expectations, that haven't really been in alignment with your desires. And this also, again, is not a surprise, because this retrograde has been about relationships. This entire year has been about relationships. You know, not just your relationships with others, but relationships with yourself. And the most common theme that I'm seeing with all these messages here, and that I've really been seeing all year long, about is that everything is about finding the harmony with yourself, finding the, you know, getting the relationship you have with yourself in order. So it's not really surprising to see this Three of Pentacles reversed. You know, for some of you, it's about your money, it's about your workplace relationships. You're seeing things, you're feeling things, you're experiencing things that you're not really enjoying. It's not really a fulfilling thing for you. And so it's like now you kind of feel like, is it time for me to step out on my own? Is it time for me to make some other kind of change? What do I do? What's going on here? You know, how do I adjust? And then we move. So for the Knight of Cups, you know, this is, again, you know, you guys are searching for your fulfillment. That's the message. You know, normally the Knight of Cups is about, you know, it brings a message, because knights generally bring messages. They bring something. But in this message, it feels like the Knight of Cups is about, you know, you guys are searching for your fulfillment. And then for the High Priestess, you know, the High Priestess is a very intuitive card. It's about following your intuition, you know. I'm also getting a message about, you know, having faith that all that's unseen isn't out to get you. And with that message, I feel like that's especially for some of you fire signs who also have planets in Scorpio. But let me move on. The High Priestess is also about changes, and it's about, you know, some of you, you're if you are intuitive, or if you're very just in tune with your intuition, or if you meditate a lot, that kind of thing, you you may notice that your intuition is heightened right around now. And that's because your intuition always gets stronger right as you're about to, you know, deal with major change. Your intuition gets stronger because it needs to guide you through times of uncertainty. So if you're feeling like, you know, you're just really on in a psychic way, you know, that's not a coincidence. That's the High Priestess telling you, you know, you get ready, because things are getting ready to change. Things are getting ready to evolve and move on for you, and you're getting ready to, you know, experience things in a new way. Strength reversed, though, this kind of comes up as a concern. And this is, some of you need to tame your ego. Some of you will need to tame your ego going into this, you know, this retrograde ending, this new moon in Aries, and then it's still Aries season. There's a lot of fire energy, and a lot of you Aries and Leo folks, I'm not really feeling it for Sagittarius, but it could be there, but I'm not really feeling it. You have to get your ego under control, because there's a lot of fire energy. There's a lot of, you know, fire burns, of course. And I say I'm not really feeling it for Sagittarius because Sagittarius is a mutable sign, and Sagittarius tends to be a bit more willing to adapt to situations. But Aries, that cardinal sign, and Leo, that fixed sign, you know, you guys don't really like to go with the flow. You like to establish the flow. You like to sit within what you feel works for you. And in this time is it's not really the time to it's not the time to sit in your feelings. It's not the time to sit in your feelings. It's not the time to, you know, fixate on things. You need to be more willing to adapt. You're going into this Hierophant reverse energy, which is about creating your own path, and, you know, creating your own path and standing up for yourself and doing things for you in your own special way. And that means you need to be adaptable in your approach. There are things you have learned that you need to unlearn, and you need to not carry them with you. Strength here is numbered 8, and that kind of, I'm also getting a feeling, you know, I'm also getting like 8 of Swords vibes from this Strength card. And the 8 of Swords, the message that comes with that card is, you know, you need to surrender your expectations. And that's the message I'm getting here with Strength. Surrender your expectations, surrender your pride, take control over your ego. Don't let your ego control you. Because moving into this space of, because, you know, you're dealing with change and you're moving into this space that's really all your own, and, you know, you have to be willing to roll with the punches. You know, everything worth having doesn't come easy, and, you know, some of the greatest rewards come after you make the toughest changes. All right, so we got this for Aries. We've got the 9 of Michael for Aries. And the message with the 9 of Michael is, your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire. Release feelings of guilt, of regret, guilt, or worry to your angels. And Aries, you know, this is a really fitting message. This kind of goes with Strength reversed. You know, release your expectations. Release the feeling that things aren't going the way you want them to. Release the fears that the things aren't going to change. You know, some of you, you're coming out of cycles. Release the fear that this is a fluke, because it's not a fluke. Release the fear that you're going back into old unfulfilling cycles, because you're not. You know, once you become aware, the thing with situations like this, and, you know, lessons from the universe, is that once you become aware of the situation and you realize how much it doesn't resonate with you, you can't last within it. So even if you feel tempted to go back, there's going to be part of you that just doesn't want to accept that. And as long as you, again, you know, you trust your intuition with the High Priestess, you won't have a difficult time taming your ego, because your intuition is going to guide you. You're not letting your ego drag you to parts unknown. You know, you've been putting in all this work. Let your work reward you. Again, focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. Because you manifest what you give energy to. And if you start giving energy to shit you don't want, then guess what's going to happen? For Leo, we've got Four of Raphael, which is the Four of Cups. And with this comes the message, seek out other possibilities. Look for the magic in your life. Be aware of your own emotions. And again, this is really heavily heavily resonating with strength reversed. And again, Leo folks, again, you've got that fixed energy. You don't, you like to fixate on things and you don't want to make necessary changes because you think things should be one way and the reality is that's not real. One message that usually that comes up with the Four of Cups is, being so focused on what you want and abandoning things that don't offer the fulfillment of what you want. But here, this is like, you want something, but it's like the pieces are coming together for you and you don't realize it because it's presenting itself to you in a different way. Open your mind. Leave this Four of Pentacles energy behind. And Aries, that goes for you too. Leave this shit behind. Leave the Four of Pentacles alone. You've taken everything you can from that space. Leave it alone. Open your mind and see what can happen for you. And Leo, the same thing. Double fours. Make it focus on your blessings. Focus on the things. What do you want for yourself? And don't turn a blind eye to what's happening before you because the pieces haven't assembled themselves for you in the way you'd like. No, that's wasteful, and you're turning your back on your blessing. You're literally blocking your own blessings. Look at what you have before you. You may want your Ace of Cups. You may want that full emotional cup. You may want that deep satisfaction, but you've got 3 cups before you, and they're each a third full. So what do? Do you make the most of that? Or do you turn away from that and keep hoping you receive something that's in reality already there, just in a different packaging? And for Sagittarius, we've got Justice. Justice here comes up as Justice is Justice in the tarot deck. It's just a different number. It comes up as fight for justice and equality. Rulings made in your favor. Don't give up. And Sagittarius, I feel like that's a pretty fitting message for you guys because, Sagittarius, you have the tendency, being a mutable sign, you do go with the flow a lot. You do go with the flow a lot, and, sometimes that flow takes you to a place you don't want to be. And this is the time where, you need to check in with yourself. And you need to check in with where you want to go in life and with what you want to do, because what's happening here is, again, the energy is shifting again because we've got a lot going on. We've got Mercury going direct. We've got this new moon in Aries. You've got all this cardinal fire energy. You've got all this energy for creation, for making major changes, for going in a direction you really want to go in. And it's like you're just kind of, this is a time where you have to put your foot in the ground and you have to make decisions for yourself. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What brings you fulfillment? Again, the Hierophant reversed. This is about making your own path. Stop taking direction from other people. Stop letting other people, guide you in the direction they think you should go in, because that's not for you. No one can decide what you want for you better than you. Other people, you may be used to other people influencing you on things like this in your life, but this is the time where you need to snap out of that. That cycle is closed. That cycle is coming to a close. It's time to take the lessons you've taken from that whole situation, where you let other people guide you and lead you astray. And you have to realize that nobody knows you better than you do. And it may be difficult to feel that, but that's the reality. That's the reality of things. You run you. You run your life. And honestly, you need a little bit more of this strength reversed. You need a bit more ego. You need more cockiness, and you need a little bit less. You need a little bit less of the high priestess, which is something I almost never say. But in this situation, you can't keep feeling shit out. You have to make a decision, and you have to put your energy into it. You have to stand up for yourself. Because only when you make that change, only once you do that, only once you put that work in on you, do you get the chance to create your own path. And then you get the chance to step into something that's special and truly for you, and not just something that other people or whatever you feel the situation expects of you. That's when you step into your own gift and not what's not yours, quite frankly. Stop worrying that you're going to mess up something for you by being yourself. The only thing you'll lose by being yourself is stuff that you really had no business dealing with in the first place. So keep that in mind and govern yourself accordingly as you go into this new moon period. Focus on standing up for yourself. Focus on taking in things that uplift you, that give to you as you give to them, and focus on cutting that shit out that just takes and takes and takes. In the regular tarot deck, Justice has a sword and a scale, and the scale is to balance things out, and the sword is to cut. The sword is communication, and so you need to be like Justice and balance things out, weigh things out in your life. What comes to you in balance? What takes but doesn't give? What tries to create codependency? Cut that other shit out, because you don't need it and it's not doing anything for you. Okay, everyone. So that's going to be the reading. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the end of this retrograde period. Things are about to start. Things are about to change in a major way, and it's really all going to be for the best. You just have to trust yourself and trust the work you're doing, and create your own path. But be tactful about it and keep an open mind. Don't shut yourself. Don't close any doors for you that are still open. Let again, trust your intuition, keep your ego in check. And, once you do that, it's always going to put you on the right path. So again, take care of you guys. Bye.